Bhakti Swami Prabhu Nitya. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivastava Gaura Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna,
everyone hot enough. Just imagine that you're in India, where it's 10 degrees hotter. At least. Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari. Himalayan mountains ki jai.
Velika nam je čast i zadovoljstvo da imamo u gostima Krishna Ksetra Swami, a možemo ga pozvati sve nas velikih Krishna Ksetra Swami je monah u Bhakti tradiciji preko 55 godina. Doktor je s oksarskom titulom za sanskrit i šarske religije. Napisao je preko 20 knjiga i piše stalno. Putuje svijetom i podučava Bhakti jogu i ja imam sreću da je danas kod nas. Thank you.
Thank you for having. It's always nice to be here, even in the middle of summer when it's so hot. Now, I think we need to do a little bit of setting up to get what we want here. And those of you who are over in this side, I know you're very comfortable where you are, but if you want to see the images that I'm going to be, we're going to be projecting here, then you're going to have to move. And that probably means all of you who are comfortably in a good place are also going to need to move if we're going to accommodate all of you in this corner. So I'm sorry for that, but it's, you can blame, I don't know, who can we blame? We can blame the architect of this building, or we have to blame somebody. How do we, to blame? Okriviti, yeah. We feel better when we can blame somebody for our suffering. Okay, meanwhile, maybe, I know, meanwhile, it looks like this is going to take a little time. Let's see what happens now. Nothing happens. So our topic today, if we get our technology going, huh? More volume. Krishna. Yeah. I to go too far left, too far right. Maybe it's good up there, or is it too high? It's okay? Good. All right, now I just realized I'm in the wrong place to see. I need to move this way. We're getting there.
Još je previsoko.
Dobro.
Okay.
To je dobro. Okay. Okay, our subject is Lord Jagannath comes west, or he goes west. Do we need some translation volunteer, at least for my team?
Treba prijevod na prijevod.
Ako može direktni prijevod.
Možemo sjestu Draga pa možemo prevoditi ili ne znam da li je ti sjeo pa prevoditi.
On je jedini.
Da.
Nekom dođe tu.
Ovdje brother dođite tu sjesti.
Okay, I think we're almost there.
Darko is your operator with the
Darko,
Yeah, I will put finger
push the
and-
button.
Yes, and put
Yes,
button.
you have expertise in button pushing. Right.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so our topic is Lord Jagannath comes west. Who is Lord Jagannath? Well, he's the Lord of the universe, right? And just yesterday, we had this wonderful festival in Rijeka. I believe it was number 22 of the Jagannath Rath Yatra. You can say, original Jagannath Rath Yatra is in present-day Odisha. Used to be called Orissa, now it's Odisha, in the town of Puri. And that festival in Puri has been going on for, as far as anyone knows, at least 1,000 years. Some may say much more than that. I come from this strange country west of here. They call it the United States. It's I call it the Wild West. And there, anything which is 200 years old is ancient. If you say something is 1,000 years old, it doesn't compute. Just, Anyway, so as perhaps all of you know, this is a festival which has spread around the world as Lord Jagannath has expanded himself, you can say, into so many forms around the world. And so I thought it's nice to tell some of the story with main focus on this festival of Jagannath, sometimes called the Festival of the Chariots. Srila Prabhupada, founder of Charya ISKCON, at least once he mentions that sometimes the Lord, being like us, or actually it's the other way around, we being like the Lord, we like to go out for a stroll. Now, what would be a good Croatian word for stroll? Šetnja, promenade. Yeah. Going for a stroll. In German, they say Spaziergang. And in Polish, they say spazier. Yeah. Anyway, so he said the Lord likes to go for a stroll. I visited once one temple in Kerala, small temple in a place called Barkala, where they took the deity in a palanquin, not once a year, as they do in Puri, but 3 times a day. 3 times a day it would go on the parikrama outside the temple. But Jagannath, it's a bit difficult with Jagannath because he's very big. He's very big. He's, how big? He's 6 feet, 2 meters tall. Very heavy. So they take him out once a year. And he goes for a stroll, and he goes to another temple. From Nilachalam, he goes to Gundicha Mandir, which is maybe 2-3 kilometers away, not very far, along the Grand Road. And he stays there for a week, and then he comes back. And I think it's either tomorrow or the next day, in Puri, they will be celebrating. They will be having to return Ratha Yatra. I've never been in Puri for the Ratha Yatra. Has anyone been there? Anyone? No? If you go, you have to be ready to face or to be part of huge crowds of people. So if you have any, what's the word, paranoia for crowds, better stay away. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. So this is a rendition of how the procession was seen with the 3 rathas, possibly in the 19th century, when the British saw the Ratha Yatra, when they saw the 3 rathas. They were horrified. and the Christian preachers, the missionaries, they made a case in the British Parliament. You have to allow us to preach in India, because before this, they were forbidden. Before 1813, they were forbidden to preach because the Royal East India Company didn't want any disturbance of religious activity. So the British government said, okay, no preachers in India. But then, when they saw the Ratha Yatra and they saw the horrible things that were going on, the rumor was, and there may have been some truth to it, that sometimes someone would throw themselves on the ground in front of one of these rathas, allowing themselves to be crushed to death by the cart, with the idea that this will be instant, I don't know what, back home, back to Godhead. Yeah. So when the British saw this, they said, this is inhuman, this is demonic, this is the worst of idolatry. Yeah. And so when they reported about this in the British Parliament, the Parliament's, yes, that sounds terrible. We have to do something about it. Okay. And so they started. And there's an English word that someone invented from the word Jagannath. They invented a word juggernaut. 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 And a juggernaut is anything which is very big and very powerful and is unstoppable. That's a juggernaut. It can be used literally or figuratively. It comes from this. Okay, next slide. In the early 16th century, one sadhu, a young sadhu, who had just received initiation into the renounced order as Krishna Chaitanya from Bengal, came to Puri on the order of his mother, who said, "You've taken sannyas. That means I never see you again." And Krishna Chaitanya said, "I'm sorry, mother. I don't know what got into me, but it's too late now. What to do? All right, go to Puri and stay there." And because Puri is a place of pilgrimage that Bengalis north of Puri are regularly visiting, we will get news about you. We will hear about you. And so he agreed, and he went to Puri. He didn't actually stay there, but eventually he does come back to Puri. And while he's in Puri, one of the high points of each year of his staying there is the Rath Yatra. And there's a long and extensive and deep theology to understand why it is that when this festival happens, Chaitanya, we also call Mahaprabhu, or Great Master, becomes overwhelmed with deep and high and wide emotions of love, as he feels himself to be in the mood of Krishna's devotee, Sri Radhika, Sri Radha. In the mood of Krishna's devotee who is arranging for Krishna to return to his home, from which he has been absent for so many years. She wants to lead him back to Vrindavan. And how she will do this? In a Ratha. And so the Ratha Yatra, Yatra means procession, is a reenactment, as anthropologists would say, a ritual of reenactment, of bringing Krishna back home, back to Vrindavan. So there's been many representations of Krishna Chaitanya dancing before the rata, the cart of Jagannath, as he leads him home to Vrindavan, as the procession goes to the Gundicha Mandir. Okay, let's do this one. We move forward 4.5 centuries or more, and we meet a young boy. His name is Abhay Charan in Kolkata. His father is what's his first name? Mr. Day, Mohan Day, yes. And his father and mother are both devotees of Krishna and of Lord Jagannath. And their little boy, Abhay Charan, wants to celebrate Ratha Yatra. And he is a very, he's the kind of boy who gets what he wants. Except when he was given a play pistol, he wanted to have 2. I think it was, I may get this wrong, but I think his mother said no, 1 is enough. But also his mother stopped when he was organizing fireworks, and I think his mother said. But anyway, he did get what he wanted in terms of having a Ratha Yatra with his friends, because one of the neighbors had a little rut cart, because this was something that was done. Early 20th century Calcutta, families that were a bit established, they might have such a toy for their children. So we see this is little Abhay Charan, who eventually will become Abhay Charanaravinda, initiated by his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then he will receive from some of his god brothers the title Bhakti Vedanta, and he will receive the sannyas initiation as Bhakti Vedanta Swami in the year 1959. And then he will translate the Srimad Bhagavatam first canto. I'm telling everything very short here, compact. He'll translate in Vrindavan the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. He'll publish it in 3 volumes. He'll pack up these books and he'll take them in, put them in trunks, big boxes, and he will go with his books to the Wild West, to New York. And from New York, after some difficult time there, but eventually some success in his mission, getting people to chant the Hare Krishna mantra and to read the Srimad Bhagavatam. Eventually he will go to the even more Wild West, to San Francisco. Let's go to the next slide. And in San Francisco, he has a small following. They have also a small center in what's called the Haight-Ashbury district, where the hippies, the flower power movement gets started in, this is 1967. it's the height of flower power. There was a popular song, how did it go? San Francisco,
Flower in your hair.
put a flower in your hair. Yeah. So that was all going on. And all these young people were, getting intoxicated on assorted substances. And one of Prabhupada's followers at that time, Malati Devi, was one day out shopping, and she went to this place called Pier 1 Imports. Pier 1 Imports was a place that sold anything and everything that could be interesting for people of San Francisco from other countries, anything that looked exotic. From India, but also from who knows what, anywhere in the Far East. And so she was there in this shop, quite a big shop actually. For some time they were a chain and they were quite successful. So in this shop, she saw next to where you pay, the cash place, there was a big box full of little wooden figures. And they looked curious, they looked kind of cute. And so she was kind of looking and she kind of took one. Or shall we say, this figure jumped into her hand and wouldn't let her what to do. And she brought it back and showed to Srila Prabhupada. Oh, I'm just noticing now, the third image is not there. I don't know how.
I will go to back. Okay, I will next this picture.
No, anyway, maybe it shifted somehow in the. Okay, so there's a small figure of Jagannath that I intended to show, and Malati showed it to Swamiji. He was not yet known as Srila Prabhupada, he was Swamiji. And Swamiji, who is this? Oh, Prabhupada put his hands like this. This is Lord Jagannath. And then he said, so there are two other figures. There's, I don't know if he gave the names at that time, but it's Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. There are two other figures. And Malati said, yes, there were two other figures also in the box. And she ran back to the shop and don't ask me, did she pay for them or not? I don't know. She brought them back and showed Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada said, so Jagannath has come, so we should worship him. Malati's husband, Shyamasundar, was a carpenter. He worked with wood. He had experience carving wood also. So he offered to carve large Jagannath deities. And that's what this image shows. He's carving the first Western Jagannath deities. And then Prabhupada would explain, so he explained about Jagannath, the history, the story of his procession, and devotees became enthusiastic. Yes, let's have a Ratha Yatra here in San Francisco. Okay. And so when the deity was finished, next slide. Yeah, before the Ratha Yatra, one time they brought Jagannath out to Golden Gate Park and had Kirtan with Jagannath. One day, this was a one-time event, because after this, Prabhupada said, we shouldn't be taking the deities out to the park like this. It's not proper. Anyway, they had had an installation in the temple, very elaborate installation. Prabhupada, there was, I think, one candle. They lit a candle, and one by one, each of the devotees and whoever came, these hippies, in whatever condition their minds were or were not, with or without mind, they came and they offered this deepa, this candle. And basically that was the installation. And Prabhupada told the devotees, whatever is valuable to you, you should, before you enjoy it, you should offer it to the Lord. So devotees and friends, they would bring their blue jeans. I don't know if they were bringing their marijuana to anyways, they were bringing different things. Okay, so next slide. This is the first Jagannath Ratha in the Western world. And notice the deities, Jagannath, Subhadra. You can't see Balaram so much, he's there in the back, but they're facing in three different directions. Because what they had for a Ratha was what we call a flatbed truck. It was a motor vehicle with this flat surface. So that was the whole thing. And they went out and made a procession. And people followed, but I think the bigger procession happened the next year. Let's go to the next slide. Whoops. Oh. I forgot that. So this is devotees preparing the Ratha. So that's Shyamasundar. Shyamasundar has written a 3-volume memories, memoir of his time with Srila Prabhupada, 3 volumes, called Chase the Swami. In those days, they didn't have digital cameras. You may not be able to imagine. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay. So So here we have some of the first posters advertising the Ratha Yatra. On the top left is the poster from 1967. Then on the right, 1968. And on the bottom right, 1969. The one on the bottom right, or sorry, the bottom says, Hare Krishna Ratha Yatra, San Francisco's parade of joyous ecstasy through Golden Gate Park to the sea, and then it gives the date, July 5th. So there's a big park in San Francisco, which is rectangular. It's a very long park that goes from kind of the center of San Francisco, and then it goes down the hill, goes all the way to the ocean. So they made Ratha Yatra in San Francisco. Eventually, the city government of San Francisco officially recognized Ratha Yatra. I think they made it Ratha Yatra Day in San Francisco. Okay, next. All right, this is, it says the first hand-constructed Ratha Yatra cart in the West, 1968. So this is the first. The one we showed before was just a flat bed truck. This is kind of fully constructed by devotees, and you see it's quite large. And you can just see the deities. You sort of see the lower part of the eyes of Lord Jagannath and Bhagavan, and then there's a photo of Srila Prabhupada left and right. You see the ropes, and you see next slide. Okay, here in the center, you see Srila Prabhupada is on the cart, and here to the right in the center is Jayananda. Jayananda was super enthusiastic for Ratha, and he would arrange for it to happen. He was collecting the funds for it. He was organizing devotees. He, at that time, was kind of the senior devotee. He was so much older than all the others. He was around 30 years old. And everyone else was 20 years old or 18 or so he could inspire devotees very much. You see also on the left side, Srila Prabhupada is Tamal Krishna, who I think later became, he's Tamal Krishna Swami. So you get a little sense there of the mood. Srila Prabhupada used to like to sit on the cart. Okay, next slide. Yes, now you get an idea of how many people are coming. Yeah. It had a big impact. This was, this is San Francisco, 1972. I didn't attend this, although, no, I would have been in Europe by this time. I was going to university in Berkeley, which is close to San Francisco, and I dropped out and went to Europe. And around the time this would have happened, I was in Germany and in France, where I met Srila Prabhupada. And, notice the big figure of Lord Chaitanya. They made this huge murti of dancing Lord Chaitanya.
Was it from brass?
No, it was paper mache. Papier mache. Okay, next. Okay, so now it looks like they have 2 ratas by this time. I don't know if they had a 3rd. Okay, next. Yeah, this became a kind of famous photograph of Srila Prabhupada inviting everyone to join in the chanting of Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, this became, the Jagannath Rath Yatra became an important trademark, you could say, of Srila Prabhupada's mission. He was so joyful that Jagannath was coming to the West out of Puri, because one thing he was never happy about was that in the temple in Jagannath Puri, to the present day, they do not allow any of us who have the wrong skin color to enter the temple. So Prabhupada's conclusion was, okay, let Jagannath come out of the temple and go around the world. Let him be seen by them. Okay, next. Here we see also Jayananda Prabhu on the left. So who came yesterday to Rijeka? Several of you. Some of you may know, some of you may not know that it's become a tradition always in our Ratha Yatras to put a photo of Jayananda on the front of the cart as a kind of memorial for him. He died quite young of leukemia. I don't remember which year it was, but it was while Srila Prabhupada was present. And Prabhupada specifically said, after he left, he has gone back to the planet. Okay, next. So I think now I just have a few photos from different cities. The Ratha Yatra, so San Francisco, London, 1972 in the center, New York City in 1976. And I'm not sure which year, maybe already from the beginning, but they've, since a long time, in New York, the devotees get permission from the city to have the Ratha Yatra on 5th Avenue. 5th Avenue is kind of, it's the place to be in New York, Manhattan. It's the street for processions. There are so many processions in the course of the year that happen on 5th Avenue. And one of them is Jagannath Yatra. In London, I was fortunate to be present in 1973 when Srila Prabhupada was also present. And that particular time, he did not sit on the Vyasasan, on the Ratha. He liked to sit on Subhadra's cart, but no, this time he was feeling too much emotion. He didn't go on the cart, he stayed down and he danced during the procession. He had his hands in the air and he was, in his gentle sort of way, he would go like this. And tears, we could see tears were coming from his eyes. He was quite intensely feeling the happiness of the event. And many years later, I came to understand why he was particularly happy at this particular event in London. Prabhupada grew up in Calcutta. Calcutta was the second headquarters of the British Empire outside of London. And the first headquarters was London. And Srila Prabhupada was active as a young man. Before he met his guru, he was active in the independence movement against the British. So strongly that he, as a protest, he rejected, he did not accept a diploma from college. Imagine going to college, university for 3 or 4 years to get your piece of paper that says you've completed. He rejected as a protest. So he had very strong feeling about this until he met Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. But now in 1973, he's going down from Marble Arch down, what is it, Oxford Street, not Oxford Street, some street, to Regent Square, to Marble Arch in any case. And this is a victory march. Now, everything has been reversed. The British were controlling, now it's Lord Jagannath who is having a triumph procession in the center of London. So he was so happy. Okay, next. Okay, this is at Trafalgar Square. Yeah, this is 1973, so I would have been there. And this is at the base of the column of Nelson's column. It's a very, very tall column with a statue of this Admiral Nelson, who was a hero in one of the wars. And in the newspaper after this event, there was a photograph of the Jagannath cart from an angle sort of below with Nelson's column behind. And the caption said, this chariot, Jagannath chariot, whatever, is competing with the height of Nelson's column. And they showed that to Srila Prabhupada. He was so we did it. Next. Boston, USA, and Brighton, UK. Brighton is on the coast, straight south from London. They make a small rut. They make several Ratha Yatras in the UK every year. I don't know how many, but it's quite a good number. One time I don't have any photos, but one time we had a kind of Ratha Yatra in Oxford. And it was, we got permission to be part of a local town parade. And we were at the very end of this procession that had all kinds of groups doing all kinds of things and dressed in all kinds of ways. Came the Hare Krishnas Jagannath looking in people's windows. I wish we had photos of that. Okay, next. Hong Kong. Oh, again, Trafalgar Square. Hong Kong, the devotees since several years do Ratha Yatra on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is the best time of year to make Ratha Yatra in Hong Kong because in the area where the temple is, the police make blockades in a quite large area, several blocks, several streets. They block it off, no traffic for that evening, just so that people can freely walk around, promenade, because it's Christmas Eve. So thousands and thousands of people are just walking around, and here come the Hare Krishnas. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So then, Hong Kong, as you may know, used to be a British colony. And being a British colony, the British, sure enough, there were Christians and they were preaching. And so there are a lot of Christians in Hong Kong and a lot of Christian churches. So they heard Hare Krishnas chanting Hare Krishna and they thought, oh, what is this? Yeah, we should be out singing Christmas carols. Devotees told me that it was not until after the devotees started with Ratha Yatra that these groups of Christians started coming out and in their groups on the streets doing, singing, whatever, what's a Christmas carol? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Jingle bells, jingle way. No. Yeah, so now there's a lot of groups out, and the Hare Krishnas, they all stay in one place and do their thing in one place. Only the devotees are moving. It's, we have our moving parikrama. Okay, next slide. Washington Square Park in Manhattan, New York. This is very close to 26 2nd Avenue, first temple preaching center of the devotees. I was in New York a few months ago and I took a stroll to Washington Square Park. And now there's this Jewish group that are preaching, very active. And so when you come, they ask, are you Jewish? And I said, no. Anyway, that's okay. Here, take a card. And they're mainly trying to get, because there are many Jewish people in New York, they're trying to do a kind of, I don't know what, born again Jewish mood or something. Okay. Los Angeles, I should mention, we go back. Los Angeles, one back, yeah, on the left. They do the Ratha Yatra along the beach. There's one area, it's called Venice Beach. It's a very wide beach, and there's this paved area, paved walkway. So they always do a very big Ratha Yatra. Okay. Next. Cologne, Germany, and Santiago, Chile. Why not? Okay, next. Auckland, New Zealand, and Siberia, Russia. I saw one photo, maybe some of you have seen it, of someone made like snowman or Iceman, Jagannath. Very artfully done. Yeah. Nothing can stop Lord Jagannath because he's on a juggernaut, that which cannot be stopped. Okay, next. Of course, each of these, Zagreb, Croatia. So when is Rath Yatra this year in Zagreb?
It should be in September.
September. That'll be how many years now? Huh? 5 or 6 years? 5 or 6. Okay. 22 years. And yeah, Bangkok in Thailand. So each of these places, of course, has a history of when we come to it, I'll mention. Next slide. Next. Buenos Aires. Okay, this was during COVID. Lord Jagannath could not be stopped. So yeah, this is Buenos Aires style, with devotees dancing the tango. You know, I don't know. I was there for Rath Yatra this last year. It was nice. We didn't have like this. We had a regular one time. Okay, next. Okay, here we are in Berlin. And I remember so many years ago, I was in Berlin and devotees were talking, oh, it would be so nice if we could have Rath Yatra, but it costs so much money to organize and to make it. How can we do it? And they were kind of moaning and groaning. And I said, well, I have a suggestion. What is that? Start small. So I suggested that they start with small deities of Jagannath and make a palanquin and just go on the sidewalk without having to get any permission, just like they're doing regular Harinam. And they can just bring Jagannath with them one time. So they liked that idea and they did it. And it was, I wasn't there, but they reported to me. It was so ecstatic. We thought, next time we have to do it bigger. So the next time I think they made also small deities, small little cart on the sidewalk. But it was a cart. So they did like that. And that was also ecstatic. And so in this way, their enthusiasm built. So from smaller to gradually bigger. And then, I don't know, it wasn't very long before they got permission from the city to do a full Rath Yatra on Kurfürstendamm, which is the 5th Avenue of West Berlin. This was still West-East Berlin. this is many years later. This is where they're having next to the, whatever they call it, Brandenburg Tour. Yeah, that was after the Berlin Wall came down. And I always like to tell the story, the true story, that one year, and I don't remember which year it was, the king of Puri was in Berlin, and he came to our little temple. Gachapati Maharaj, he's the real thing, he's a real king, but he doesn't have any power. As he told us, nobody listens to me. He's a life member of ISKCON. He came, and it happened to be the day of Ratha Yatra. And we said, Maharaj, this is so wonderful that you have come. You can do what you do in Puri at Ratha Yatra. You sweep before Lord Jagannath. Please be our honored guest and do this here in our Ratha Yatra. And he just kind of lowered his eyes and shook his head, and he said, but he was very serious. He said, I'm very sorry. It's strictly forbidden for me to do this service anywhere outside of Puri. If anyone in Puri, if any of the officials would see a photo of me doing this in Berlin, I would be in big trouble. I might lose my job. He didn't say that. He said, no, the mayor of Berlin should be there and he should do it. Well, the devotees had invited the mayor of Berlin, but did the mayor of Berlin come for Ratha Yatra? No. He didn't come. He didn't realize what an opportunity he had. But anyway, the king, Gajapati Maharaj, attended the Ratha Yatra. He went on the procession on Kurfürstendamm, and I believe he was probably the only person in the whole procession who went barefoot, because that's actually the proper way. It's, proper respect to the deity. You go barefoot. We don't go barefoot on the streets because we're afraid of broken glass and whatever. But he went barefoot. Anyway, Berlin Ratha Yatra has been going on for many years. We see here His Holiness Indra Swami and His Holiness Satchidananda Swami, and always with their winning smiles. Okay, next slide. So many deities of Jagannath all over the world now. I don't know if anyone has counted, but there's a lot. And of course, so many people have Jagannath in their homes. And we have Jagannath here. Okay, confess, who has Jagannath at home? Surya Kunda is like, I don't know what that means. Yes, no, maybe. Just now coming. I'm not sure if he's joking. It looks him. Okay, next. Yeah, so back to Puri, and this I thought is a nice sort of impressionist vision of Jagannath as Ratha Yatra, as something which is extending beyond this particular place to all places around the world. Okay, one more, I think we have. This is just the first 57 years of Jagannath in the West. And yes, when I put this together 3 years ago, it was Kaveri Devi Dasi who prepared this in a very turbo way, very fast. So, thanks to her. So that's pretty much it. I hope this has been a little inspiration for you for the coming Rath Yatra in September. And I would encourage you also to read Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, no, Madhya Lila, chapter 13. This is the description of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing in the Rath Yatra in Puri. And it's a wonderful description of how overwhelmed he becomes in his joyous interaction with Lord Jagannath. Naham Vikro Nacha Narapadir Navivasho Nashudro Naham Varni Nachabridir No Naskavatirva Kintu Prodya Nikita Paramananda Purnam Nidam Gopi Paratu Padakamalayor Dasa Dasa Anudasa. He proclaims to Lord Jagannath, I am the servant of the servants of your servants, who are the Lord of the gopis. So he's remembering Krishna in Vrindavan, who has his loving pastimes with his eternal associates, especially the gopis, the cowherdesses. And he is declaring that I am simply your servant, but not even directly your servant. I am the servant of your servant, of your servant. Dasa dasa, anudasa. And I'm not any of the worldly designations that he would have been accustomed to at his time. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanapastha, Sannyasa. He said, I'm none of that. I'm just your servant. And he had, 7 groups of Kirtaniyas. And Krishnadas tells us that Mahaprabhu could be seen simultaneously, whether we believe it or not, simultaneously in all 7 of these different groups, dancing while they were singing. And what were they singing? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande Hare Gaur. Thank you all very much for your patience during this very hot weather. And thank you all for coming. The theology of Rath Yatra. Yes. The theology, at least of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, because many different people worship Jagannath. That's one reason he's called Jagat Nath. Jagat means the universe, literally that which is in flux. This universe is always in flux. So the Lord of all that's in flux, that is Jagannath, and he is having this very unusual form, a kind of humorous form, you could say, the big eyes and the stumpy hands, arms, and apparently no legs. And that's the whole story of why he appears like that. But my point here is that he's worshipped by all kinds of people according to how they understand him to be. Even some Shaivites worship him as Shiva. Buddhists worship him as Buddha. You name it. Everyone comes and worships Jagannath. So he's a very inclusive Lord. The Jagannath Ashtakam says in the first verse, Kadachit kalindi tatavipina sangita karavo Buddha viri nari vadana kamalan svadamadukam Brahmas Shambhu Brahmamarapati Ganeshar Chittapado Jagannatha Swami Nayanapatagani Bhavatume. It's describing the Lord as Krishna. Kadachit, sometimes he is seen strolling along the Jamuna river, Kalindi. Tata, along the bank of the Kalindi, and he's strolling along, playing his flute and just enjoying life. And the demigods are whatever, floating around, and they're offering praises to the Lord. So tradition says that series of verses was composed by Adi Shankaracharya, which is interesting, because if it is, he is famously impersonalist, but he's recognizing Jagannath as a boy still, possibly 11 years old. Boy Krishna was called to Mathura for, you can say, a confrontation, which did not go according to plan. It did go according to plan of Krishna, but it did not go according to plan of the local king, Kamsa. And as I think all of you know, Kamsa's life was brought quickly to an end by Krishna in Mathura. And then Krishna remained in Mathura. He did not go back to Vrindavan. And this was a cause of intense and endless heartbreak for the residents of Vrindavan, who refused to leave Vrindavan. You could say, well, why didn't they just go and visit Krishna in Mathura? No. Wouldn't work. Rasa basa. Can't go to Mathura. Mathura is the city. We are village folk. So they pined in separation from Krishna for years and years and years and years and years. And then the news came. Krishna is going to Kurukshetra. He's going to the Samanta Panchaka, the 5 lakes of at Kurukshetra. Why? Because it's, the excuse was because there's going to be a solar eclipse and it's auspicious to be there at that time. So from Dwarka, Krishna goes to Kurukshetra along with so many chariots and elephants and horses and army and his queens and so on. And the residents of Vrindavan, they hear about Krishna's going to be there. Now, why could they go there but not to Mathura? Don't ask me. But somehow they decided, let's go to Kurukshetra. So they go to Kurukshetra and they meet Krishna. And that's all described in the Bhagavad Gita. But sure enough, when they meet Krishna, it's a bittersweet experience. Because Krishna is, it's not the same. It's not the same. Krishna is now with all this royalty and all the elephants and the horses and the chariots and the princess, the queens and the army and on and on. This is no good. What are we doing here? Let's take Krishna back to Vrindavan. And so they do. At least that's what we understand from this reenactment in Puri that happens. So that's the theology. It's the coming together again of Krishna and the residents of Vrindavan, in particular the devotees, in particular Radha, and they're returning to Vrindavan, which is the place where the Leela, which is what Krishna most yearns for. He is always so busy being God, it gets tiring to be God all the time. So he goes to Vrindavan, and in Vrindavan he can just forget about all of that. And just have a good time with his friends. Yeah. So that's the story. So then, yeah, and that's described in Chaitanya Charitamrita that during the Rath Yatra, at one point, Mahaprabhu takes a break. The procession sometimes it'll go and then it'll stop, and because these are huge carts, the feeling is Jagannath only moves when he wants to. He can pull if he wants. He's not going to move unless he wants to. So sometimes he'll just stop, and then Mahaprabhu and his friends will go to a nearby garden and relax for a while. And while he's relaxing, the king of Puri, whom Chaitanya had absolutely refused to meet because he's a renunciant, he's a sannyasi, shouldn't mix with, as Prabhupada would say, pounds, shilling, pence people who are worldly. So he said, I can't do it. I'm sorry. He wants to meet. I know he's a devotee. No, it's not possible to meet because people will talk, and my reputation is gone. And then I have to leave Puri. So the devotees made a scheme, a trick. They told the king to in simple cloth and take off all your ornaments. Sometimes they have painted this scene and they can't take off the ornaments. They have to keep the ornaments on the king. not how he talks. Anyway, he comes and he approaches and he's massaging the Lord's feet. And while he's massaging his feet, he's reciting and he's reciting verses from the 10th canto. And there was nothing quite as powerful as verses from the 10th canto to move Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to become emotional. So Krishna Das Kaviraj has one of the verses that he recited. Tavakatam Tapta Jivanam Tapta Kalmastam Shravanamandalam Srimadattatam Bhuvirnatiye Bhuvirajana. It's one of the verses that the gopis sing, in which they're glorifying the process of hearing about Krishna. And the last line says, Buddhida Jana, those who are hearing and chanting about Krishna are most fortunate and most glorious and most magnanimous. They are people who are actually giving. And Krishnadas tells us that when Mahaprabhu heard this line from the king, he jumped up and he embraced him. He said, Buddhida, Buddhida, you are, you are magnanimous. So in this way, the king's desire was fulfilled and reputations were saved. Everything was done in the proper way. May you be in the line of my sight. Jagannath has big eyes. He's reminding us that God sees everything. He is the original surveillance system. He sees everything, which makes a lot of people worried. And in the prayer it says, Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patakami, may you be in the pathway of my eyes, Nayana Pata. May you go in the path of my eyes. May I see you. And may you see me. Darshana means seeing and being seen. Lord Jagannath is watching all of us as we speak. And he might be laughing. But I think he's also, power on this. I don't know. They're making jokes with each other. But they're always having a good time. And they're inviting, isn't it? They're inviting us. Come join us. Come join us in the eternal festival. And we make a token effort to invite everyone in this world to join, especially by Pratiyatra. So that's the idea when we have here in Zagrebu, invite people to come. All right, on that note, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Jagannatha Swami ki jai, Jagannath Subhadra Valadeva ki jai, Gaur Premanande.
in jama na hrvatskom jeziku za sve vremena. U knjigu o jedinstvenoj cijeli promotivno je tako da možete tamo doći, dobiti knjigu i Mara se potpisati da posjetu samog budete u tih knjiga.
Hrvatski. Right.
I've been missing out on your journey here in this area.
And hiking up in the mountains.
Oh, yeah. No, I went to, I've been on the field work in one remote mountainous area here, close, very close to Dragi. I discovered that there are two centers. I get roped in and approached from isolated communities in Croatia so we're doing field work. Actually now we're just talking with Buddhists. So one is tantric, the other one is chanting. But I've been trying to be a student to do an MA thesis or a PhD thesis on Hatha Yatra because that would be really somebody to do this. That's like a very nice contained study. How are you?
Still writing these.
Oh, endless. That's coming along. Why are you doing it? Like the audience. Maybe just you are probably aware of the Bhakti commentaries on the Patanjali Yoga Sutras by Krishna or something like that. You should become helpful. I just heard that this something like that. But anyway, I have a couple of things. I'm going on a sabbatical next year. Spending my book has to come out, otherwise I'll lose my job. So that's. But please do send me. I'd be very happy to. So maybe we can online. I don't know how long are you here in Croatia?
Yeah, we can arrange. Now I have it.
Oh, okay.
Plan the day and the time.
How long are you here in Croatia?
Tomorrow morning.
Oh, good. Oh, are you taking it? Very nice to see you. Okay. Books, and I'm looking forward to reading.
I'm coming back and yes.
Prva najava bila u 6. Evo sad
What is your good name?
Tea. Tia. Yeah, it's spelled with English tea.
Live here in Zagrebu.
Yes. I did travel a bit around, but I'm living here. My residence now, yeah.
Have you been coming here some time?
Yes, but recently and today I just figured out. I thought that it would start at 6, and then it started at 5. So this is why I didn't know because I'm not in this group. So I will next time I will try now to get in the Facebook, WhatsApp group. So because I really like Kirtan and this experience. But anyhow, I can rewind. I think you put everything online, right? You don't know. Yes. You live in the US? Reside, no?
I kind of gave up the US. I'm sort of based in Poland. But I come every year.
Okay, great. So I'm sorry. I will just now translate for a friend who doesn't speak He's sending regards from Macedonia. Sarvananda. And this is for Bhakti from Macedonia.
Okay.
He will repeat for you. It is not easy.
Okay. This is for Who has given you this nice painting? Nicely known. You live here in Zagreb? And I think you're coming regularly here. That's the idea of asana. Simply focus on where to focus the mind. That's what we're trying to do in Bhakti.
I will find answer here.
Yes.
Trying
to direct that.
So when I do, what do you recommend? First do mantra and then do asana, or first do asana, pranayama, and then
You can explore it.
okay, there's no rule.
You can do before and after. Actually, one of the says that every activity and service begin with mantra, and you do activity including again mantra. What's your good name? It's short. You're living here in you're kind of moving around. It's a very nice center.
I moved to Norway. I moved to Norway. So we have a little, not really temple, but we have a room in that's the place for Sunday Seva. So I was just passing by and I find out that you are here, so I stay today because of you. And even though I was coming a little bit late, I didn't know that you started earlier. But I hear what I need to hear.
Better late than never. How did you first meet devotees?
So there's a friend of mine, Bukulendra, who lives in Predavanja. He's my friend for 20 years. And he tried to kind of knock on my door a few times. It took some time. And then he knocked one more time 7 years later. So, but it was a very beautiful moment actually. I was laying down in the sciatic, so I couldn't move. And we started to talk about Krishna, and I just started to listen out. And that was the moment when actually Krishna left Vrindavan, and then I just felt like
You said you were near Jati.
no, I'm in Norway.
Oh, I thought you said something about Jati.
No, I said that I was laying down with the sciatic.
Oh,
Back pain, yeah. I have a condition, and then Krishna book says that magically open. Thank you very much. This is actually for me. Maybe I will switch on this one because this is still live.
All I need is a did you talk with Rasa Honey? He said that Dubai installed. It didn't happen. They were asking, but I never heard from them.